Previously, we talked about saddle saw, and now we will have Alan to give us some tips on getting the correct saddle position and how to do it yourself.
Okay, so there's no one rule. So there's a few ways of doing it. So the first thing is you can do heel over pedal. Saddle height also depending on flexibility. So if you're not flexible, the saddle height should be a bit lower. Doesn't mean you're very flexible, the saddle height can go too high because your body will start to rock when it's too high. Okay, so these are the consequences when the saddle height is wrong or too low. Okay, so basically what you want is, okay, lift up your leg. Okay.
Heel on pedal?
Yeah, heel. Okay. So heel on pedal, the leg should be straight. That means now it's a bit low. So we'll raise up until it's almost straight on the heel. Can you straighten the leg or up?
Still got a bit room. Okay.
Okay, better. So this is the ballpark how it is. Then now you go to the way you pedal. Okay, so there's few ways to look at this. The leg at the 6 o'clock, is it straightening? And the ankle, is it moving a lot? So the first symptom, if the ankle is moving a lot, it means he's tiptoeing already. That means the saddle is too high. At the bottom stroke, he's trying to reach it. Then of course, the back, you look at it, whether you see the hip rocking or not. But hip rocking, there's a few things. Tightness of the hip, saddle, not enough support, then he move a lot. So if I raise up the saddle too high, continue. This is too high. Then you look at the hip, like dancing already. So this is too high lah. You can feel it?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Then when
reach the bottom.
So when it's too high, also he will feel the groin.
Yeah.
You feel because it's supporting on the groin.
Right.
Okay, so basically, because we're at the reverse side, so it's pointing up, but it's not supposed to be up, right? It's down. So means it's 5.8 tilted. And why some people say, why don't put here? Because there's an arch. If you put here, then most likely is straight. Then to me, there's no problem. But to our experience, if you measure here, this is too much already. So we need to tilt it up, you see. So we tilt, usually about, we start from 2 to 3 is fine. So this is not positive, this is negative. The only two bikes that can be this way, mountain bike and BMX. But most bike will have to go down. So the first thing when I see when it's positive, I ask them, are they comfortable? Then if they say yes, then I'll leave it. But if they say no, this is one of the settings I'll do. Of course, we have done before people minus at 5. Yeah, I have an athlete who minus more than this, she's fine. So when it's too much, you will slide. So when you slide, you will have hand pressure, knee pressure, because your body is trying to prevent you from dropping. So this is also a very important setup, the tube of the saddle. I will recommend this than the spirit level because there's no digit. Phone also can, but you must make sure you use back the same phone. So I always tell people, if you want to measure this, use your phone and with your phone. You don't use this, then use your phone. It's different. Yeah.
So the starting point you recommend is a -3.
-2 to 3.
-2 to 3.
Yeah.
If let's say I start at 2, for example, and I don't find it comfortable, then would it be more negative or will you?
If you say the groin is not comfortable, then it's tilt down a bit. Yeah. What happens if it's 0? I show you what happens is 0. The saddle doesn't look right. Look at the saddle. The front is pointing up.
Yeah, you actually look tilted up. So it's because of nature that the saddle actually arches a little bit.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So that's why once you're at 0, you actually feel something protruding here.
Correct.
Now we got a height and we got a tilt. Is there anything else?
Okay, so the front and back. Okay, so front and back, there's many ways to do it. So more and more concern is a lot of people, they move to the front because they're trying to reach to the handlebar. So let's say their stem is 110. Then they find, hey, I'm dropping forward. So the only thing makes sense for the hand to reach, they will shift the saddle all the way to the front. But if you shift the saddle too much to the front, what happens is your body will be thrown towards the front. So meaning your body will keep trying to fall because you cannot balance. So what happens is hand pressure increase. So what we are trying to do is get a sweet spot, the front and back. So as a fitter, we usually move about 5 mm to reach to the sweet spot. It might not be 100%, but you'll be close. So once you reach the sweet spot, your hand pressure will be very little. Like practically you're riding, you can ride like that. It's like, oh, I just touch only. But once the sweet spot is off, you're holding on, then your hand will get numb. That is one of the symptoms. Hand get numb. Last scenario, carpal tunnel, because too much pressure, excessive pressure. So if all this happens, then we have to adjust front and back.
One common observation is that sometimes after we ride, it's kind of natural that our body auto-adjusts itself to a more forward position or a more backward position on the saddle. So if that happens, what is actually happening to us?
Okay, so there's no straight answer to this. Like me, when I ride, I tend to go forward because I like to engage my quads more. So that's me. But when I'm doing long distance, a bit slower, I'll move my backside here, which is not here. So you're depending on the rider. Second, if the reach is too far, then your body will auto move to the front just to reach. So there's another reason why the body wants to move forward. So when the stem is shorter, the body do not have to move. They will stay put there because it's comfortable. The body doesn't really want to move because it's comfortable. They are comfortable, they don't want to move. When they try to move here and there because it's not comfortable. So basically, to sum this up, how we can set the bike correctly for this part will be first the saddle height. So once we set up the saddle height, you shouldn't be rocking, you shouldn't be feeling back of your knee pain, your ankle shouldn't be moving a lot because at the bottom stroke you can't reach. So once you start that, you have that, then we will start solving the saddle tilt. Yeah, so the tilt is usually -2 to -5 maximum. So once you play with the tilt, you're not sliding, you don't feel the groin pain, provided the saddle is correct, then you're good to go. Then the last one will be the fall off. That will be to determine are you sitting here or here and what we're trying to achieve. So main thing is you move slightly forward is to get a better reach. But what ultimately the whole thing summarized is we want a sweet spot of the bike. Means we want 80% of the time you're sitting here, not sitting here. Because you're sitting here, it tells me that you would like to sit here, then we will try to move the saddle so that you can sit here and not here. Because people who sit here will have a lot of pain. That's why the saddle is designed this way, not one whole piece. So ultimately, we do have people who sit here, so we need a bigger width so that you can sit comfortably, your seat bone, it will be here. So these are the 3 important points. But after that, if you still find there is some issue, then we have to look at the bike sizing, the stack height, the stem length. Is the bike suitable? Is anything you can do about it? Because you have already exhausted whatever can be adjusted on the bike.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.